You know what the biggest mistake most people make is, and don't even realize it? It's turning their back, or worse, biting, the very hand that reached out when no one else did. Sounds absurd, right? But it happens every single day. At work, in friendships, in relationships. And the cruelest part? The downfall almost always comes right after. This story isn't just about ingratitude. It's about how fear, anxiety, and ego lead us to hurt the ones who were only trying to protect us. And to bring that to life, let's dive into one of Aesop's old fables. One of those that sound simple, but carry a quiet kind of poison disguised as wisdom. A tale of a deer, a tree, and one choice that cost him everything. But hold on, this video isn't here to judge you. It's here to open your eyes. Because maybe, without noticing, you're already chewing the very branches that shield you from the storm. And if you keep going like this, you might be closer to being exposed than you think. Stick with me to the end. If you really grasp the lesson behind this story, you might avoid the most dangerous trap in life, destroying with your own hands what was meant to save you. There are people who, in moments of panic, run straight to the safest place they know. A friend's shoulder, their parents' house, their faith, or even silence itself. But once the danger passes, those same people start, without realizing, to slowly damage what kept them safe. It's a subtle move, but it says a lot about how we handle fear and gratitude. In Aesop's fable, the deer runs desperately from the hunters. He hides in a thick tree, covered in leaves that make him invisible. But instead of staying quiet and waiting for the danger to pass, he starts chewing on the leaves of the very tree that's protecting him. In other words, he destroyed his own shelter. A powerful metaphor, and sadly, a common one. Think about it. How many times have you sabotaged someone who helped you? A partner who loved you, and you pushed them away. A job that gave you stability, and you complained instead of contributing. A loyal friend, ignored because you were too busy. When we bite the hand that shelters us, life bites back, and it hurts. Gratitude isn't just a pretty feeling, it's practical action. It's knowing when you're safe and responding with respect. It's not throwing dirt into the well you drank from. And believe me, most people only realize they did it after they've lost what they had. And by then, it's just a sad story. Running isn't always cowardice. Sometimes it's survival. But when your escape is driven by fear instead of wisdom, it can send you straight into a deeper pit. The deer ran from the hunters, and that was smart. The problem came with what he did afterward. And it's in that after where most people lose their way too. You know when someone leaves a toxic relationship and jumps into an even worse one, just because they can't be alone? Or when someone quits a hard job and rushes into the first, easy one without thinking long-term. That urge to escape might feel freeing at first, but it comes at a price. And that price is often called regret. The fable makes it clear, the deer was right to run. But his mistake was acting on impulse in the exact moment when what he needed most was stillness and care. In real life, it's like when someone's finally in a safe place, but keeps reacting as if they're still under threat. What does that lead to? A collapse of their own making. So if you're going through a time of escape or transition, take a second. Breathe. Ask yourself, am I reacting to what already happened, or building what comes next? That answer might just define whether you survive or self-destruct. You know that person who always stands by you, even when you mess up? Who listens, defends you, holds you together when the world feels like it's falling apart? Well, they might not always be around. And not because they don't love you, but because even the strongest roots get tired of being trampled. In the fable, the deer felt safe among the branches of the tree. That tree, quite literally, was his shield from death. But by chewing the branches, he broke what sustained him. Now think about that in real life. It's when we disrespect the boundaries of those who've always been there. When we take patience for granted, ignore care, and treat coldly those who've only shown warmth. And the truth is harsh. Love gets tired too. Friendships give up. Family steps back. Support, when not appreciated, turns into absence. And when we finally wake up, sometimes it's already too late. The tree in the fable didn't kick the deer out. It simply couldn't protect him anymore, because he destroyed it himself. So next time someone shelters you in a difficult moment, honor that. Show it. Be thankful. Take care of it. Because no one is obligated to keep being a shelter for someone who insists on being the storm. The most tragic part of this story wasn't the hunters chasing the deer. It was the fact that the deer was found because of a mistake he made himself. He wasn't betrayed. He wasn't surrounded. He wasn't even followed. He simply gave himself away by destroying without thinking what was protecting him. And honestly, that happens to a lot more people than we'd like to admit. How many people lose their jobs because they started complaining too much and delivering too little? How many friendships fall apart because someone said the wrong thing, at the wrong time, in the wrong way? How many relationships end simply because someone stopped caring about the little things? No one threw a stone. No one pushed. It was the person who opened the door and let the end walk in. The fable shows us that the deer wasn't just a victim. He played a role in his own downfall. And that hurts because it takes responsibility. Admitting that something bad happened because of you is uncomfortable. But it's also freeing. Because if you caused it, you can change it. You can learn. You can do better. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. Protection is not guaranteed. Respect, loyalty, love, trust, they're all like the branch holding you up. But if you bite through it out of impulse or neglect, sooner or later, it breaks. And when that happens, what will you do? Now tell me, could it be that you're also, without even noticing, biting the hand that's always protected you? Sometimes, it's a harsh word, a silence that hurts, a habit that wears things down. And the worst part? By the time we realize it, the shelter has already collapsed. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can change. You can protect what matters. So look around. Who are the branches that hide you when the world gets too heavy? Who are the people that hold you up when everything is falling apart? If you already know who they are, then it's time to do the opposite of the deer. Don't destroy. Protect those who protect you. Honor those who shelter you. And yes, sometimes that starts with a simple thank you. Now I want to know, have you ever gone through something like this? Have you lost someone because you didn't value them? Or maybe, were you the tree that got hurt while trying to protect someone else? Share it in the comments. I read every one, and your story could inspire someone else too. And if this message touched you in any way, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because here, we turn stories into life lessons that stick with you forever.